Welcome to the 6th edition of the AlUla Tour. This 5-day spin around the Saudi Arabian city has become a popular choice for many teams as they embark on the new cycling season. 116 riders from 17 squads are participating this year. Now, the AlUla Tour always attracts some of the world's top sprinters, and 2026 is no exception.
I'm really happy to be back here. I had some really good memories here.
Is Jonathan Milan going to take it?
I don't know if you remember, but before that race, you were on the track and you turned around to me and said, I'm going to be one of the top sprinters in the world. That's my plan.
Jonathan Milan firing to try and win his first ever stage of the Tour de France. Whoa!
It was always my goal to become one of the best ones. Now we are, I think, on the way.
Among the GC contenders are Alan Hatherley, who finished 6th last year, and 21-year-old hotshot Jan Christen.
Last year you had 2 podiums on some of the stages. Coming back for more of the same?
It's a nice race. I think it suits me well. We've come with a really strong team. I think we have a good shot for GC, 100%. And yeah, I think our biggest competitors probably would be Jan Christen. I think he's the big standout.
I'm super excited to start the season again.
What do you know about this race?
Well, it's a lot of wind and 2 hard stages, and the last stage can be quite exciting. Well, it's some good competitors here, but we focus on ourselves. We have a super strong team here, and we try to play the cards right.
The AlUla Tour 2026 kicks off with a flat stage of 158 kilometres. It starts and ends at the AlUla Camel Cup track, which hosted the final stage last year. There'll be a couple of intermediate active sprints during the day, counting towards the orange jersey for the most active rider, plus a bonus sprint with just under 9k to go, 3, 2 and 1 seconds available for the top 3. A sprinter will no doubt be pulling on the first leader's jersey this afternoon, and Jonathan Milan is the man to beat. The 4-man breakaway was in the process of shattering as the live pictures began. 2 of the Oman national team members, Syed Al-Rabi and Mohammed Al-Wahibi, had already been caught, leaving just 2 men at the fronts. Ali Al-Sheikh of the Saudi national team and Ayman Rosli of the Terengganu cycling team, who made the first 2 breakaways of last year's race. Well, the maximum gap had been as much as 3.5 minutes, but the peloton were now closing fast. Al-Sheikh going solo at the front, but that sojourn wouldn't last long. The peloton all back together again with 65 kilometres to go. And there was a bit of tension in the bunch because there's always the possibility of crosswinds and echelons on these exposed desert roads.
Whoa, crash right-hand side and a big crash in the peloton.
Fritz Biesterboss of Picnic Pustanel going to ground here as Jayco AlUla tried to up the tempo, but there wasn't too much wind at this point. Things eventually settling down again, with Vara van Geloa also licking his wounds after hitting the deck. There would then be another crash with much bigger GC implications, involving one of the race favourites in Jan Christen. The UAE man caught up here just at the moment where several of the sprint teams stepped on the gas again.
Oh, and that's a problem there. Number 41, Jan Christen, the race favourite for the overall, and Christen is down in this crash.
Lidl Trek, Cofidis and Soudal Quickstep causing a split in the peloton. And Christen, Hatherley and the other GC riders were on the wrong side of it. Well, the race was really on now. 18 riders in this front group, including the sprinters Jonathan Milan, Phil Bauhaus, a former winner of this race, Fabio Jakobsen, Milan Fretin and Fernando Gaviria. The peloton slowly eating into the gap, but the chasers couldn't get themselves organised properly, and it started to go back out again as they approached the Camel Cup track. The 18 leaders would go over the finish line twice before the final sprint, and they were now leading by more than 30 seconds. At this point, it looked as though Milan and co would indeed contest the first stage victory.
And Jan Christen has hit the deck again. Christen is down for the second time.
Incredibly more problems for Jan Christen, who was decidedly having one of those days. The young Swiss is set for another frantic chase. Up at the front, meanwhile, it was still full gas, with the leaders holding on to their slender advantage. Heading into the final lap, there was a bonus sprint, with Mark Donovan pocketing the maximum 3 seconds. His teammate Matteo Moschetti, who won at the Camel Cup track on the final day last year, was another contender here for the stage win.
1 lap to go.
Well, Christen fighting to save his race with his UAE teammates, and they eventually latched back onto the back of the peloton. This one was going down to the wire. The sprint group now just 10 seconds ahead as a few riders tried to fire across, but would they catch them in time?
11 seconds now. Can they go all the way to the line? Lidl Trek need to put the power on. Gaviria gets ready in the green and white towards the back. It's Makutis who sits right on the back of the string of riders. It is so close right now. They mustn't let up. Lidl Trek put it on now. Ekholm and Söderqvist, the other riders know that it's down to Lidl Trek to bring this home. 1 kilometre of racing. They're just going to make it by the looks of things. Moving up, Milan is ready. Gaviria's right on his wheel. Gaviria's locked in. Jakobsen gets ready. Fretin is set for the sprint. Big move on the right-hand side for Makutis. Moving up, here comes Moschetti. He wants to win on this AlUla camel track again. Big attack on the right-hand side as De Jong goes for it for the team of Picnic Post NL. Big acceleration by the Picnic Post NL rider, who has stolen a march on the rest of this peloton front group of riders, and he goes clear. This is a big move here. Cofidis get ready. Can he hold on all the way to the line? Jonathan Milan gets set. It's going to be a sprint from this group of 18 riders. Milan gets set to go. And here goes the acceleration. Jonathan Milan right on the wheel. Fretin is trying to go as well. Jonathan Milan against Fretin. But it's going to be the first win of the season for Jonathan Milan. He wins for Lidl Trek.
As we saw at the start of the programme, Jonathan Milan took one of his first road wins here at the AlUla Tour in 2023 before becoming one of the top sprinters in the world. Last year he claimed 9 victories, including 2 at the Tour de France, where he also won the green jersey. And the 25-year-old Italian is off to the perfect start in 2026.
It was a bit tricky, when you're not that many in the grey in the front. It's always, you can expect always everything. Maybe a little group of 3-4 riders, they attack and then you're not able to catch them anymore. My guess it was really good in hold everyone together, let's say, and yeah, they deliver me just in a perfect position.
Milan taking it ahead of Fretin and Moschetti, with Lawrence Rex and Lorenzo Mazin completing the top 5 as the lead group just about held on. De Jong, who tried his luck from distance, ended up 9th. Milan is the first man into the leader's green jersey then, with a 4-second lead over Fretin. Despite all of his troubles, Christen only dropped 21 seconds, the same as Hathaway, Dunbar, Higuita and the other GC favourites. Milan is also the early points leader, although Moschetti will wear the red jersey on his behalf in Wednesday's second stage. Donovan takes the orange jersey as the most active rider, having picked up 4 points on this first stage. He leads Al-Wahaibi and Alex Kirsch. And Fretin will be in white tomorrow as the leader of the youth classification. He leads Hugo Page by 6 seconds. On to stage 2 of the AlUla Tour. Jonathan Milan roared to victory yesterday after some crosswind chaos that is typical of this race. And the Italian is keen to double up today, even if there is more wind on the menu.
Today we have other chance, other opportunities, but also we have to be careful for the crosswinds. Yeah, it will be pretty similar stage than yesterday, but yeah, we are focused on it, we are ready, and can wait for it.
Milan Fretin finished second yesterday after fine work from Cofidis and his lead-out man Hugo Page. The Belgian is now hoping to go one better.
Is Milan beatable in this headwind finish?
Yeah, of course. Every sprint is different, but you know, like a finish like yesterday, when he can do a free sprint, I think there's not many guys who can beat him at the moment. So we really have to take him on, like, yeah, maybe when he make a mistake. Of course, it always can happen in the sprint. So we keep going, we keep trying, and today is a new chance.
Stage 2 starts and ends at the Al Manshia train station. 152 kilometres with no climbs on the menu, but a westerly wind that could cause splits, especially when the peloton are riding south back towards the finish. They will also get an opportunity to see some of the region's iconic sights today, Hegra and Elephant Rock. So, is it going to be another sprint, or will the weather gods decide otherwise? Well, 5 riders made today's breakaway, including 3 of those who got into it yesterday. But like yesterday, they were being swept up just as the live pictures began. The racing full gas once again as the riders dipped in and out of the crosswinds. Well, Lidl Trek making sure they had the race leader, Jonathan Milan, safely up at the front. And after all of his problems yesterday, Jan Christen of UAE was in there as well. But the man in the orange jersey, Mark Donovan, had been caught out. The British rider spoke this morning about his hopes of getting a decent GC result, but this was far from an ideal situation. The chase was on then, but several teams at the front were keen to keep the pace high. Bahrain Victorious, for example, working on behalf of their sprinter Phil Bauhaus. The Donovan group gradually closing in, but the leaders kicked on again, with Bahrain Victorious and UAE really putting the hammer down and growing the gap to around 45 seconds in the swirling sands.
It's a sandstorm in AlUla, and the riders are battling for survival.
Well, things did eventually begin to settle down as the riders went past the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Hegra. And finally, with 40 kilometres to go, the chasers caught up again.
End of breakaway, at kilometre 111.
A change of race situation shortly afterwards, with Stefan de Bod and Matthias Breinhoy going on the attack. Now, these two were teammates last year, but de Bod left Terengganu over the winter to join Modern Adventure Pro Cycling, a brand new American team founded by former pro George Hincapie and his brother Richard, and taking part in their very first race this week. Well, the duo weren't given much rub by the sprint teams. They were brought back before the second intermediate active sprint. There wasn't much to report at that particular sprint, but with just over 10 kilometres to go, there was a bonus sprint, and Jan Christen pounced to take 3 bonus seconds ahead of his teammate Kevin Vermaker. Milan and the rest of the fast men getting ready for a proper bunch sprint, but there was still time for a bit of late drama. A puncture for Bauhaus with around 6k to go, and then Fabio Jakobsen pulling up with cramp. So 2 sprinters down, but still plenty of contenders. Could anyone stop Milan and Lidl Trek, making it 2 from 2?
They check over the shoulder. They look to see where Milan is. They're not prepared to fire yet because Milan lost a few places there and he's just trying to get himself back up on the wheels, which he's done now. He locks himself in onto the lead-out train. There he is, left-hand side in that green jersey. Big use of energy there by Milan. Now it's the team of Pinarello for Moschetti. They've put Moschetti onto the wheel of Milan. He's there in the red jersey. Now there's going to be this big U-turn. This is a critical point. Big U-turn. Got to come out in the first 10. Managing to do that. Milan is there. 1 kilometre of racing to go. He goes straight down and then a right-hander into the finish line. And we see now Lidl Trek right on the front. I've heard there's a crash of Riley Pickrell of the team of Modern Adventure who's touched a wheel or something. 740 metres of racing to go. It's the team of Lidl Trek still with Milan. Moschetti's getting ready to pounce. Frettin is there in the white jersey. 500 metres of racing to go now on stage 2 of the AlUla Tour. Simone Consoni has his Olympic compatriot locked in and ready, and they're gonna fire now for the finish line. Big move of Moschetti. Milan Frettin is still there, and here goes Johnny Milan looking for 2 wins out of 2. Real powerful finish. No one's going to get anywhere close. It's 2 from 2 for Johnny Milan.
A textbook lead out from Simone Consoni, a textbook sprint from Jonathan Milan. The Italian connection working wonders as Lidl Trek made it 2 wins from 2. Milan really is a cut above the rest of the sprint field here in AlUla. Win number 27 of his career, and he extends his race lead to 14 seconds.
I think it was our dream scenario. I mean, I'm really happy for how we did it, for how we controlled the race, for how we moved in the echelons. Yeah, with this team is coming almost everything quite easy, I would say. No, and in the end, I was a perfect lead out. And then I had just to sprint to do my best.
Milan taking it ahead of another Italian, Daniel Skirl, who sprinted for Bahrain victorious in the absence of Bauhaus. In fact, Italians locked out 4 of the top 5, with Ackermann third, ahead of Moschetti and Malucelli. Milan will spend a second day in the leader's green jersey then. The Lidl Trek man is 14 seconds clear of Fretta and 16 clear of Moschetti. Still lots of sprinters in the top 10, but that is set to change tomorrow. Milan doubling his points tally to 30. He's 14 ahead of Moschetti and will no doubt recover the red jersey when he loses green on stage 3. Donovan of Pinarello Q36.5 remains the most active rider. He is level on points with Lidl Trek's Jakob Söderqvist. And Frettin remains the race's best young rider, 10 seconds ahead of his Cofidis teammate Edoardo Zamparini. Jonathan Milan has so far reigned supreme at this AlUla Tour, but the Italian sprinter is set to be divested of his green jersey today as the GC Games commence. We are heading for a summit finish on Bir Jayda Mountain Worker, so the climbers will take centre stage and perhaps a first step towards winning this race, which hasn't been too kind to them over the first 2 days.
Yeah, it's been a tough start to AlUla Tour, a lot harder than last year, I would say. The crosswinds have played havoc. Yeah, I guess today and the final stage suit me well, and it's the big GC day, I would say. Bonus seconds is going to be important, so yeah, we're going to throw everything at it and see what we can do today.
After a difficult start to the race, Jan Christen is a man to watch today, although the Swiss youngster insists that UAE Team Emirates XRG have several options in the final.
We have also Kevin and Igor. We are all in good condition, and we try to play our cards and try to win the stage.
Your objective is to win the AlUla Tour?
I mean, we see I lost quite some time now The goal is for sure to win the Tour with the team. Doesn't matter which rider, but for sure it would be nice if I can take a stage win home.
"142 kilometres on the menu in this third stage, from the Winter Park to Beerjide Mountain Worker. Tom Pidcock won on this climb last year en route to overall victory, although the riders will be going in the opposite direction today. All of the day's sprints come in the last 50 kilometres, with bonus seconds available, 13k from the line. Well, things were a little bit more relaxed in the peloton compared to the first 2 days of this AlUla Tour, which meant the early breakaway actually got a bit of screen time. 3 men at the front, including Nader Hazazi of the Saudi national team, as this race continues to promote cycling in the region. Ayman Rosli of the Terengganu cycling team was in the mood for the third day running. The Malaysian was joined by his compatriot and teammate Ji Yi Ki, who was no doubt targeting the orange jersey for the most active rider. He began the day just a point down on Mark Donovan in that classification. Well, heading into the final 60 kilometres of the stage, their lead was hovering at about 2 minutes. The peloton being paced by UAE team Emirates XRG and Tudor Pro Cycling, working for their respective Swiss leaders, Jan Christen and Yannis Voisard. No major stress for the sprinters today. Fabio Jakobsen looking on better form after he cramped up yesterday, and the race leader, Jonathan Milan, just keeping out of trouble in the middle of the bunch. Well, 3 soon became 2 at the front as Key and Rosli left Hazazi behind, the 2 Malaysians forging on together and slightly increasing their lead. The riders continuing to wind their way towards the final climb at an average speed of around 45 kilometres an hour. UAE and Tudor still sharing the workload in the peloton and gradually bringing the gap to the 2 escapees down to 1.5 minutes. Well, it was job done for Terengganu as Key picked up 6 points at the first 2 active sprints, guaranteeing himself the lead of that classification this evening.
These 2 riders have done a great job today, the Terengganu cycling team, and it is Key Si Yi of Malaysia who is first across the line. He's going to secure 9 points in the most active rider competition. Job done. Well done to these 2 riders.
The Malaysian champion Rosli and the new orange jersey Key soon easing off the gas, and they were duly swallowed up by the peloton with 26k to go. Time for the favourites to get themselves set for the final.
End of breakaway. End of breakaway. In front of you have been caught.
Well, first up was the bonus sprint with 13.1 kilometres to go, 3, 2 and 1 seconds available for the first 3 over the line. The 2020 winner of this race, Phil Bauhaus, leading it out for his Bahrain victorious teammate Daniel Skirl. And the riders then heading into a sweeping descent before the final climb.
Wow, that's a big crash. One of the UAE riders is down. That's a big crash.
Well, hopefully no major damage done in that crash. We hope that everybody's okay. The road starting to rise with Jayco AlUla putting the pressure on for their climbers Alan Hatherley and Paul Double. The sprinters' legs were soon starting to sting. Jonathan Milan held on until around 3.3 k's to go, but he was always going to lose that leader's green jersey. Jan Christen then put a first dig in with a couple of k's left, and the only man who could follow him was Gianmarco Garofoli of Soudal Quickstep.
Jan Christen riding strongly, everybody else looking at each other.
Christen going again just before the Flamme Rouge, and this time he got a small gap.
Jan Christen now starts his assault on trying to win this race. The race favourite, 2 crashes on day number 1, 1 kilometre to go, and finally he gets rid of his companion. Checks over his shoulder. Well, the race so far has not gone his way, but now he is showing just how strong he is. But everybody else sprinting across the road, it's such a hard finish. And that's because of the wind more than anything else. It's only an 8% gradient. Has he gone too early? There's still some fight in this peloton. 9%. Kristen keeping the power on. Looking back, there's still 2 riders coming across. Just trying to see who that is right now. Is that Uwayrid? He's being tracked by another UAE rider. Now that should be Kevin Vermarker from that helicopter shot. Just trying to see who it is. And they're going to catch Kristen, you know. That's a big move. Just hearing a double has been dropped. Now they catch Kristen in sight of the finish line. Kristen has been caught. And now they're going to attack Kristen as well. Big move on the left-hand side as they try to go clear. Bahrain Victorious are leading the charge up this climb now. And it is Afonso Uwayrid behind him. Voisard is there as well, so is Higuita. Who's going to get this then? Look at Higuita as he jumps his way onto the wheel. So it is Uwayrid, Jan Kristen, Voisard, Higuita. Big acceleration of the little Colombian climber. Higuita goes for glory now. This is a big acceleration from the XDS Astana rider. Voisard tries to go on the other side of the road. Can Higuita hold on? Is it going to be a win for Tudor Pro Cycling at the top of this mountain? Tudor Pro Cycling all the way. Yanis Voisard across the line first for Tudor Pro Cycling.
What a moment for Yanis Voisard, the 27-year-old Swiss taking just his second career victory after surging from distance to conquer Bir Jayda Mountain Worker, repaying his Tudor teammates for all of their hard work today. Voisard is also the new leader of this AlUla Tour.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing to start the season with a win. I waited this one quite a long time after Hungary a few years ago, so I'm super happy to win today.
Voisard winning ahead of Uwayrid and Higuita, who had 2 teammates inside the top 6, Malubrahan and Vinokourov. Mari van Sevenant was 5th, with Kristen finally 8th. Voisard now leads the race by 4 seconds from Uwayrid and 6 from Higuita. Björn Kurt is 4th ahead of Van Sevenant, with Stefan de Bod rounding out the top 10. As expected, Jonathan Milan goes into the red jersey as the leader of the points classification. The Italian is still 14 points clear of Matteo Moschetti. Key shrugging on the orange jersey after a good day in the breakaway for Terengganu. The Malaysian leads his teammate Rossley by 4 points. And Uwayrid is now the race's best young rider. The 24-year-old from Portugal is 11 seconds clear of Kurt. Yanis Voisard seized control of the AlUla Tour yesterday with a brilliant display on Bir Jayda Mountain Worker. However, the Swiss rider will have to be switched on in today's 4th stage with more crosswind chaos forecast on the road to Hegra.
The teams that we've spoken to already this morning say that this race is going to blow apart in the crosswinds. What do you think?
Yeah, probably there is a lot of chance that it will happen, so we'll try our best to keep the jersey and try to also make the sprint at the end.
The profile is nice and flat, so Lidl Trek will be hoping to guide their sprint star Jonathan Milan through the echelons and give him a shot at a 3rd stage victory.
Today will be another really good opportunity for all of us sprinters in the end. But yeah, we will have to be really careful with the wind. It will be really windy. Maybe it will be more or less like the first day, maybe 30-40 riders. As I said, the wind is really strong and really probably will split.
Time is running out, meanwhile, for Jayco AlUla, who are determined to win here in the region of their title sponsor. Their sprinter, Pascal Ackermann, hoping to improve on third place 2 days ago.
I'm quite happy about my shape, and it's going better and better from day to day. And today is still a big chance to grab. I mean, it's still a super important race for us, for Jayco AlUla, to be here. So we're gonna fight for our stage victories. We have 2 days to go. Today it's my chance, tomorrow the climbers' day. So we have to try everything today.
Stage 4 is the longest of this AlUla Tour, 173 kilometres between Winter Park and Hegra, the ancient Nabatean city that has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2008, Saudi Arabia's first. The bonus sprint comes early after just 19 kilometres, with the 2 intermediate active sprints in the final 50k. No climbs on the menu, but like on stages 1 and 2, the wind is bound to be a major factor. We are by no means guaranteed a bunch sprint. Well, the pace was so relentless on this 4th stage that by the time the live pictures began, there were only 38 kilometres remaining. The average speed was well over 50 kilometres an hour for the first 2 hours of racing. So once we joined the action, the day's 16-man breakaway had already been caught. And after a split in the main peloton, a group of chasers had caught up again. Everybody just catching their breath on this remarkable desert road. The bonus seconds at the start of the day were picked up by Mathis Lebert, who had been the best placed man on GC in the breakaway. But no danger in the end for the green jersey of Yannis Voisard. For him, it will all come down to the hike up to the sky views of Harrat Uwayrid in tomorrow's 5th and final stage. Ultimately then, this was going to be another one for the sprinters. And of course, the big favourite was Jonathan Milan, already a 2-time stage winner earlier this week. Others to keep an eye on were Pascal Ackermann, Milan Fretin, and the other Italians who've been on form this week, Matteo Moschetti, Matteo Malucelli and Daniel Skirl. Well, not everybody had made it back to the front after those crosswind battles. A group containing the orange jersey, Ziyi Qi, was a long way back.
And the gap is massive. There's the peloton.
And Pinarello Q36.5 were keen to shake things up again.
Now we get a big acceleration. Any moment now in this race, you need to keep your focus, because if you don't, you can miss the breakaway of the day. Now that acceleration, wow, look at the speed round that left-hander.
Well, that move came to nothing and things settled down again until Zeb Kiffin attacked for the Terengganu cycling team. Decidedly, they have been very lively this week. The British rider taking 3 points at the final active sprint and deciding to kick on. The rider's now heading into the final 10 kilometres of this stage and enjoying some magnificent views on the road back to Hegra.
Well, the terrain is pretty breathtaking, isn't it? Through the rocks and the gateway towards Hegra now.
Well, Kiffin did win a stage of the Tour de Langkawi last year, but he didn't present much of a threat to a full peloton containing a fair few sprinters, and he was caught with around 7k to go. Some of the GC favourites looking relaxed as the fast men prepared to face off.
The big move on the right-hand side, Pinarello, Q36.5 with Moschetti getting ready to try and win today's stage. Modern Adventure Pro Cycling on the front with Riley Pickerel looking to try and take this victory. Bergado is there in the white colours of Total Energy as he starts to slot backwards now in the string. not too far to go. There's the peloton. They're going to come up and make a big swoop in left-hand turn onto very rough road into the finish line. It's going to be an almighty charge into a headwind, so you need to leave it quite late. Bahrain victorious, moving up now with Phil Bauhaus, but I wonder whether they're going to go with Skirl instead. XDS Astana move up in the turquoise, but Modern Adventure have the front of this peloton now. Jayco AlUla move up in the lavender-coloured kit as they bring forward Pascal Ackermann looking for this stage victory. Look at the speed of Lidl Trek. Where is Jonathan Milan? There he is in the red. Has to brake a little bit. 3.5 hours of furious racing across the desert, and there's a fight for this left-hand turn now. Milan is not quite in position yet. Here goes the team of Cofidis. Milan is trying to fight his way out of a box right now. Pascal Ackermann getting ready to go. Milan moves up onto his lead-out man just in time as Ackermann goes for the finish line. Bauhaus is there. Milan is kicking as well with Consoni. Milan goes. Bauhaus kicks as well. Milan through the middle. He's being challenged now by Malucelli. Milan is going to be beaten this time on the line. It looks like Malucelli of the team of XDS Astana squeezed through on the inside.
Matteo Malucelli outpacing his compatriot Milan to win this fourth stage. The 32-year-old played a pivotal role in XDS Astana's survival bid last year, with his 8 victories helping to keep the squad in the World Tour. He's now off the mark in 2026, celebrating his 18th career victory.
For 10 years like pro, I finished a lot of time second behind a big champion. And I needed one time in front of there. Today there was Milan, I won in front of Milan. For me, this is the best victory of my life. And I hope to be in the top sprinter in the world now.
Malucelli besting Milan, with Fritz Biesterboss completing the stage podium for Picnic Posternel. Another good effort from Robin Fradevaux in 4th, but Ackermann was down in 21st.
It's the first time with a leader jersey, so it was a super nice feeling and was a nice day for us.
No major changes overall, with Voisard still leading Afonso Eulalio. Sergio Higuita remains 3rd after chasing back in the crosswinds. That overall podium is now another big target for Astana. Milan couldn't get his 3rd stage win today, but he has sewn up the points classification. As long as he reaches the finish line tomorrow, the Italian will go home with the red jersey. No change in the orange jersey. Key is still the race's most active rider, ahead of his teammate Rossley. And Eulalio remains our best young rider, ahead of Björn Kurt. And so to the 5th and final stage of the AlUla Tour 2026. The sprinters have had their fun. Now it's time for the GC contenders to face off on this race's iconic climb, the Skyviews of Harrat Uwayrid. Yanis Voisard is in pole position, but the Swiss rider has a big job to do on this final day.
That's super steep. That's honestly one of the steepest climb I did, also in Europe, so that's a very tough one.
And what would it mean to you to bring this jersey home?
It will be amazing for sure. We'll do everything we can do with the team to take this jersey home, but we will see.
Afonso Eulalio has yet to win a professional bike race, but this could be the day for the Portuguese youngster. He starts as Voisard's nearest challenger, just 4 seconds down.
Yeah, it's 4 seconds the difference, no? But yeah, he's in the final. He's 20 riders, 25 riders can win the race. We will see. We will do our best.
Sergio Higuita has been chasing a win since 2023, and the Colombian goes into this one trailing by just 6 seconds.
I hope the legs are be okay for the climb, because
The last days was very hard for me in the flat with the wind. I always in the second group after chasing locally. But yes, this stage was hard for me. I hope the legs are recovered for today.
164 kilometres on the menu today between the AlUla Old Town and the Skyviews of Harrat Uwayrid. There isn't too much wind forecast, so this should go down to the final climb. It tops out with 8.3 kilometres to go, with all important bonus seconds available at the summit. There is then the final frantic dash along the plateau to the finish line, and with only 6 seconds separating the top three, it could be a case of winner takes all. There were 7 riders in the day's breakaway, including a couple of guys who already went up the road early on stage 2. Dries de Bont from Jayco AlUla and Federico Giacomoni from Team Ukio. They were joined by Lars van den Heide of Soudal Quickstep, Ryan Boulahuat of Total Energies and Juan Pedro Lozano from Terren Garnu, who basically haven't missed a breakaway all week. Milan Fretin was also in there, the Belgian sprinter who was second on stage 1. And finally, Javier Ibanez from the Caja Rural squad, who, it was announced yesterday, will be taking part in their first Tour de France this summer. Well, their lead was just under 3 minutes heading into the final 60 kilometres. Well, meanwhile, there was an unfortunate crash involving one of the race favourites, Higuita, going to ground along with his ex-DS Astana teammate Yevgeny Fedorov. The Colombian shepherded back to the bunch by Matteo Malucelli, but sporting a few cuts and bruises, and that crash would potentially impact his performance in the final. Bahrain Victorious were doing the lion's share of the pacing in the peloton on behalf of Eulalio, with Voisin's Tudor Pro cycling team strung out just behind them. The gap remaining pretty steady over the next 20 kilometres or so, despite a decent average speed of over 47 kilometres an hour. The breakaway still with over 3 minutes in hand, although none of them posed any major threat to the green jersey. The best placed overall was Fretin, some 6 minutes down on Voisin. Back in the peloton, UAE Team Emirates XRG were now getting involved with the chase because they had 3 riders within 33 seconds of the lead: Igor Arrieta, Kevin Vermarker and Jan Christen. The breakaway's lead had been cut to around 2 minutes as they approached the base of the final climb. And 1 or 2 of them might have been starting to think about a possible stage victory, but not the fast man Fretin, who was the first to drop. Boulahuat also saying goodbye, leaving 5 men at the front: de Bont, van den Heide, Ibanez, Giacomoni and Lozano. The sky views of Harrat Uwayrid looming into view as the gradients began to bite. The GC favourites getting themselves set, and slowly but surely the gap was coming down. The breakaway led by just a minute, 2 kilometres from the summit. Well, the attack starting to fly at the front, and just look how difficult this climb is. Riders zigzagging all over the place. UAE starting to rev things up in the GC group, with Jayco AlUla also up there. Well, Giacomoni and Lozano proved to be the strongest from the breakaway, but the race leader was suffering.
And here is Voisin. Oh, the green jersey is in difficulty. Voisin is starting to suffer, and he's gone out the back very, very early. This is not good news. He's looked good until now. Voisin is in trouble.
Well, game over then for Yanis Voisin. Up at the front, Lozano said ciao to Giacomoni, but the favourites were now closing fast. Around a dozen riders in this GC group, including Sergio Higuita, but Eulalio was also fading.
And this is the white jersey. Eulalio has cracked as well. He doesn't have the legs at the moment either. Big acceleration on the left-hand side. Higuita starts to follow. Big move now of UAE Team Emirates XRG. Christen starts his assault again to try and win a stage, but Higuita immediately counter-attacks. the climber from XDS Astana. He's had a crash today, but Higuita is an out-and-out climber. Look at the way he's going now. Higuita smells blood on this mountain. Big acceleration. Is this Stefan de Bod, I think, for the team of Modern Adventure? Higuita in second, Mauri van Sevenen in third. Mauri van Sevenen attacks. Big move of van Sevenen now to go for the bonus. Look at Higuita, he knows how critical this is. Wow, a sprint between the two of them for the bonus. Let's take a look, who got it? It looks to me like van Sevenen took it. Higuita took 2 bonus seconds. Kristen and Castillon are the 2 riders at the back. Trying to come across now. Can Kristen get the stage win he's been looking for? Higuita's in a perfect position right now. This is Kristen and Castillon as they try to get across now. Only 7.6 kilometers to go. So it's going to be a group of riders coming together at the front of this race right now. It is Higuita. He's in the colours of XDS Astana. Van Sevenen is in here. Byron Munton of the team of Modern Adventure. Castillon of Carural and Kristen of the team of UAE Team Emirates. Behind them, 2 more riders trying to come across. They are at the moment Liam O'Brien. And with that Liam O'Brien of Lidl Trek is Kevin Vermarker. And Kristen is waiting for Vermarker now. What a race this is turning out to be. Well, Higuita knows he needs to push on here. Higuita is the virtual leader of this race. Now we get an attack, and going clear goes Jan Kristen by the looks of things. Kristen has decided to go. He wants this stage victory. He wants it badly, but he wants the overall as well. Kristen has already taken 10 seconds. This is a massive advantage now by this rider. Remember, he started today at 33 seconds. He knows that this is a big moment for him. 17 seconds Jan Kristen has taken. What a ride by this youngster from the team of UAE. The chasers are starting to accelerate. 1 rider in the gap, trying to come across right now. And Jan Kristen has gone for glory with 4.7 kilometers to go. 5 seconds to Byron Munton here of the team of Modern Adventure. Can Modern Adventure get a stage victory in their first ever bike race? Higuita is still there. He needs a little bit of assistance. He needs a little bit of help. He's been caught by the former 2 breakaway riders. So right now, between these riders, Kristen started today at 33 seconds. Between him and Higuita, there's 30 seconds. So he needs the 10-second time bonus and another 20. That's what he needs to win this race overall, pretty much, because there's nobody else in the picture who started the day in the top 3. This rider is trying to win this AlUla Tour, and he's doing it in style right now. Jan Kristen flat out looking for a big win in this AlUla Tour. Munton has done his team extremely proud in the background. What a performance by Modern Adventure on the final day. Kristen is going all out for time to win this AlUla Tour. This has been a stunning win. Jan Kristen takes the victory. He takes the time bonus, and now the clock starts. Byron Munton takes 2nd place. Now it's the fight for third place. Higuita is going to be so close to this. Stefan de Bod looking for a place in the top 10. By my reckoning, the time has gone by and the jersey has gone. Higuita comes in now in this group. The time bonus is taken by Jan Christen's teammate, and it looks to me like Jan Christen will win this AlUla Tour on the final day.
Cometh the hour, cometh the man. It's been a rollercoaster week for Jan Christen, with crashes, a penalty for drafting, disappointment and finally glory on the SKYVIEWs of Harrat Uwayrid. The 21-year-old living up to his billing as the favourite by seeing off all comers on this final stage and securing a memorable victory at this 6th edition of the AlUla Tour.
I didn't want to go too early because I knew the last 10k is quite hard, especially with headwind. And today I kept my legs in the climb. Did a bit of a show attack in the top because I knew if some guys could pass me, they will, and they maybe blow up. And I just kept my pace over the top, and then I knew if I do on the flat part a big attack, normally I have more power than the other climbers on the flat, and that I should bring it home.
Christen taking his 6th career win by 11 seconds from Munton, with his teammate Arietta leading in the rest and making sure Higuita couldn't get anywhere near the remaining bonus seconds. Career win number 7 came with the overall title. Christen ended up 15 seconds clear of Higuita, with Arietta and de Bod jumping to 3rd and 4th. Eulalio and Voisard finished 5th and 6th. No sweat for Jonathan Milan, who took a comfortable victory in the points classification. The Italian's tally was double that of his nearest rivals, Malicelli and Moschetti. Terengganu were rewarded for their consistency in the breakaways with the orange jersey for the race's most active rider, Ji Yi Ki winning ahead of Dries de Bont. Christen, who won't turn 22 until June, also finished as the race's best young rider in white, with Arietta and Eulalio completing the podium. And no major surprise to see that UAE, with 2 riders on the overall podium, ended up as the best team. It has been another brilliant edition of the AlUla Tour, with the most dramatic conclusion so far. Congratulations to Christen, see you again next time, and as ever, thanks for watching.